It's Thanksgiving week, and today I'm sitting down with our Senior Pastor David Hegg for a special Thanksgiving episode. As we reflect on God's goodness, we're thankful for our church family and pray this conversation encourages your heart to give thanks to the Lord. I'm your host, Aaron Miller, pastor of equipping at Grace Baptist Church in Santa Clarita, California. Welcome to Magnify. How was the food pantry?
The SCV food pantry is they do more food than any other food pantry in LA County.
So what you were telling the guys last night is, for whatever reason, federal funding, like they try to give away a number of turkeys for Thanksgiving, right?
They are on the hook for 650. They've purchased 650 turkeys from Costco, I believe. We gave them a check that will pay for several of them, a lot of them.
Is the food pantry a part of a larger LA County distribution?
There is a distribution, but they're not connected to it other than there is a distribution center that brings food to them. But they also they have trucks that go around to 5 of the supermarkets here in town and other places, and they can get things that are overstocked. Mm-hmm. They can get things that are going to expire before the stores think they can sell them. And there are federal regulations that dictate that food that isn't going to get sold for whatever reason and is still within the dates of freshness, they are mandated by law to give it away. And so the food pantry here, I mean, it's one of the most amazing nonprofits, the way it's run, the way the people are involved in it, and the number of meals that they give away and food that they give away and store. I mean, it's really something. And right now, if you go to their building, it's tiny. They need more space, so they're actually trying to raise money to build another property.
And this is down in Newhall, the location?
It's in Newhall.
And around Thanksgiving, holidays, leading into Christmas, is there an uptake in the need?
Oh, I'm sure there is. You know, I mean, even here at Grace Baptist, we've been, ever since I've come, and even before, word goes out. If you know anybody in the congregation that could need a little help with Thanksgiving dinner, right, let us know, and then we go buy them and stuff like that. So we'll still do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, the other night, folks, in the elder meeting, Dave was just talking about how we could be a leading influence in that as a church.
Yeah.
Partnering with them. I know we partner with them already, but you know, this time of year, especially holidays being upon us and Thanksgiving, the need for a good meal and human connection. It's always there.
And as we are working and have been working to kind of identify what makes a local church local, I think one of the things is that they are actively engaged in the welfare of the people in their locality. Mm-hmm. You know, the local church isn't just the building that believers come to. It's actually the locality in which the church is doing its ministry. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I'm excited about the SCV Food Pantry. It's a really well-run organization. And I'm, you know, actually, one of the things that struck me today as I was meeting is that what you did when you finished up Matthew 25 and the sheep and the goats, and the sheep, why are we here? Oh, because you fed me. When did we feed you, Lord? Well, to the point that you did it to the least of these, you did it to me. And it hit me, you know, a local church should be involved in those kinds of activities in its locale, and we want to do that.
And a holiday like Thanksgiving is a perfect platform.
Yes.
Thanksgiving, I feel like, is easily overlooked as people really get into Halloween, October 31st out here. I didn't grow up with Halloween being a major thing. I mean, it was a thing. People still would knock on doors and get candy and dress up. But out here, it's a creeping, sprawling, the whole town is taken over.
Well, you can, if you remember back in October, you'd drive the streets. On my way home, I'd drive them, and there's these amazing blow-up clowns and skeletons that are taller than people's houses. And I'm going, what? But you're right. Halloween seems to be something that more and more people are getting into. But I really believe that Thanksgiving, it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, holiday.
Yeah, me too.
Because everything stops. The families come together. You get an extra day on Friday.
Sure.
And here's the thing. It's got very little obligation. For instance, people come to your house on Halloween, you're obligated to open the door and say hi, and I love it.
Sure.
Christmas is huge obligations. There's concerts, there's parties, there's giving presents, sending out cards, all these festivities. I mean, quite frankly, the whole Christmas season can be exhausting, even though I love it.
Sure. But Thanksgiving slows down.
It doesn't cause you to have to do anything but be with family, eat the turkey or whatever it is you eat, sit down, have some fun, laugh, watch a little football. It's one of the more relaxing holidays that there is.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah, but you realize this is a podcast and there's 6 million people are going to hear it.
Yeah, that many, folks. I don't like turkey. I don't like turkey. I'll do it. It's Thanksgiving. You have to have it. But if I had my way, it'd be a rack of ribs.
Well, we all know there are certain idiosyncrasies about you, Mr. Miller, and that would be one of them. I can go halfway with you. I don't like white meat.
It's too dry.
Yeah, it's too dry. But the dark meat.
Sure.
And everything that goes with it, the cranberry sauce and the stuffing and all the mashed potatoes with that special gravy made with some of the, turkey drip. Oh my goodness.
Sure. I mean,
great.
That's good. And if you find any dark meat turkeys that they're raising out there for the holidays, I'll buy that turkey. But I'm with you. It's just too dry. I'll have it. Again, tradition. It's important. It's going to happen. But I'm going to put it with a nice side of
One of the best
ribs.
things we do is we keep the carcass, and Sherilyn somehow makes turkey soup out of it. And, oh, man,
I've done that. Like a bone broth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's enough meat in it to, make it seem like it's healthy. And so there you go.
I think a lot of these holidays also need a course correct. It's easy for it to drift into a selfish consumer holiday, and Thanksgiving isn't left out of that. It could be a selfish, gluttonous, self-serving week, but as a believer, to try to turn the tables on the moment and truly celebrate what we're trying to accomplish, which is being thankful and expressing gratitude. And so it's just one day, it's 1 week out of the year, but it should be an ongoing ethos of the Christian life.
Yeah. At our house, when we have our kids coming home, which doesn't always happen now that they have another set of parents that they can be with, their spouses. But for a few years, we've had a good number of them home, and we've gone around the table. And a couple times we even wrote some things out that we were thankful for, and then we gathered them up, and then we'd share them the next year. We'd pass them out again. Remember this? And so we find that the conversation around the table really is meant, and I try to lead it, to think about this idea. We are thankful. God has been very generous to us. He's been generous to us as people, as a nation, as a family, certainly as a church, and as individuals. And I guess, that now that I am approaching 70, you look at your life and you say, I have so many more years behind me than I'll ever have in front of me, even if, regardless of how much life God gives me, I have experienced so much of His grace and His generosity. And I think Thanksgiving, as the name, is also what ought to be at the center of our families, our celebrations. And because there's very little else that is connected, no gift giving and all that kind of stuff, it's basically everybody's in the kitchen, everybody's in the house.
Sure.
We're all working together, and I really like that, because that's what I'm most thankful for, is that God has granted us the ability to be a family, to love each other, to care for each other, and to treat each other as God has treated us.
I'm not sure of the history of the intention behind where it's placed on the calendar, but I have always felt that Thanksgiving is the perfect primer for Advent season. As you're moving into Advent, you have this day dedicated to reflection and to giving thanks. And then you're moving right into what we're most thankful for in the coming of Christ and all that we have in Him.
That's good.
It's a perfect.
You ought to go into pastoral ministry. That's a really good insight.
I'm thinking about
it. Yeah.
Put my resume out.
I've always liked that it's on a Thursday for two reasons. Number one, it makes the week shorter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But, I still got to preach on Sunday.
Sure.
But there's just something about knowing, I'm going to go home Wednesday, and there's Wednesday night, and there'll be pies to bake and all this other stuff, and then the kids will arrive at some point, and you get all day Thursday, and then you get all day Friday.
With lots of food left
and
over.
then you get all day Saturday. It's like, it's better than a 3-day weekend.
What's been, a good Thanksgiving memory that you can reflect upon? Was it when the kids were little? Is it now that the kids are grown with grandkids?
Well, I have some...
Before kids, maybe?
I have some really good memories of being a kid.
Yeah.
And in our house, we always, and this is going to sound weird, we had a Thursday morning church service at Euclid Avenue Baptist Church in Spokane, Washington. It was always at 9 o'clock till 10 o'clock. And it was a time when we'd go to our church building, and there'd be a few songs sprinkled through. They were all hymns of thanksgiving. And then people would just stand up and give what we used to call a testimony of how what were they thankful for that past year. Now, the moms didn't like it because they were worried, am I going to get the turkey done, and the pie's going to be baked?
Sure.
But it was, I liked it. It was only an hour long.
Did you ever have Thanksgiving with people outside the family? Did your dad, as a pastor, ever bring anyone into the...
No, my grandma and grandpa were in a home just behind ours, so they were always there. My grandma would make some of the best rolls you've ever eaten in your life. And we always, pumpkin pie, that's all we had, but it was awesome.
Yeah, some of my fondest memories is when we would actually have, being in a military family, occasionally we would have a lonely Marine.
Oh, yeah.
Or a couple of sailors. And I really I didn't necessarily reflect on it at the time, but looking back on it now, I really enjoyed watching my parents serve people. They did a good job with that. They opened up the home, they were hospitable, and it just made the home feel of use, if that makes sense.
Oh, no, it's good.
Like it's just people were coming through, and we're going to serve them, and that's what we do. So, yeah, I love Thanksgiving. I don't like the weight I put on, which tends to be a factor. So,
Well, it's not from the turkey you don't eat, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
Now, I got to ask you a question. Who carves the turkey at your house?
Me.
Yeah.
Me.
And here's the second question. Do you use a regular knife or an electric knife?
A regular knife, because I'm a man with a conscience.
Oh, my. We still use an electric knife that we were given for our wedding. And it is that weird green that when earth tones were in, it's kind of a light avocado. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, it's the one I use, man. I still use it.
You don't need to sharpen that thing through the years? It's not grown dull?
No, if you wield it the way I do.
You wield it?
It doesn't get dull.
Okay.
Yeah,
if you wield it.
I don't hit the bones, okay?
Okay. I know exactly where to hit. Man, and then I have to wear the gloves because it can be quite hot. Sometimes I don't let it cool long enough.
And we have our own separate turkey roaster.
Yeah.
It plugs in.
Yeah.
And you set it out somewhere and it just, oh man, it makes the whole house smell well.
Like a crock pot.
Yeah, it's a huge one. But
Whoa,
like
so you don't use the oven?
Not for the turkey.
Interesting.
You see, the oven is for the pies and the casseroles, green beans with those crunchy onions on top.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that's so good. Yeah. And my wife makes this Jell-O salad that she doesn't like, but the kids insist on it. We've had it ever since. And
oh, man, Jell-O, that's great.
It's so good.
It's great.
Yeah. We're total American family Thanksgiving-wise.
So going back to neighboring and how Thanksgiving could assist us in what it means to be local. Because you said this recently, which I don't know I've ever thought of it this way. To be local means neighboring. It's embedded in our neighboring effort. That's what it means, right?
Exactly.
You talk about the partnership with the food pantry. What are some other ways in which we're partnering as a church here locally that Thanksgiving makes kind of a highlighted opportunity.
Yeah, we also do the food giveaway just with the stuff that we get,
Yep.
Food-wise, the bags out at Golden Valley, and
Right.
Jared Burkholder and his crew have been doing that like once or twice a month, giving away hundreds of bags of food. I'm sure we'll be continue to do that as well. Yeah, what I'd love to see happen is neighboring move from the corporate, our church is doing this, to the local, our family's doing this. And we're hoping that the grace groups, my hope, as is Jared as well, a grace group that meets in a certain location would say, okay, what else is in this part of our city? Where can we get involved? Is there a nonprofit we can volunteer at? Are there people in our own neighborhood that we could get to know? Could we throw a block party? Could we, go around and invite people to our Christmas concerts? And can we get to know people? And when you get to know them, you realize, okay, here's someone whose son maybe is autistic. What can we do to help you? What can we do to help some of the elderly people in our community? To be ready for every good work is going to take work.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to be out there. You got to rub shoulders, that you get invested in the people on your block. You know who they are. You know maybe who their kids are. And, Halloween was a great time because, all of our neighbor kids came by and we saw them, we see them again, we talk to their parents. I often tell them, hey, there's some things going on at Grace Baptist when Christmas comes around if you want to go to the concert. So we always have to, when I was in sales, our motto was ABC, always be closing.
Right.
And I often think now we need to always be selling or always be inviting and talking and telling people there's a church down there that does some great things and we're part of it and we'd like to be in your life. Now, we got to figure out how to do that in a way that isn't creepy.
Yeah.
But just walking your dog and saying hi to everybody. Aaron, the origin of Thanksgiving, I think we used to know that as kids. We used to have little plays where some people would dress up as pilgrims, some people would dress up as American Indians, and they'd have a feast together. There's something really necessary and needed in our day to recapture the idea that though we're different, we can celebrate, that we live in the same place, and that we're all made as image makers or image bearers of God. And I think the church, meaning our church and the people who really love Jesus Christ, we ought to grab hold of some of that history, because this country in which we live has never been so divided, except maybe in the weeks and months right before the Civil War.
Yeah.
And we're watching some things happen. People are just so divided. When Thanksgiving could be a time to say, you know what, let's stop and just remember we're all Americans. And we're all people who are trying to raise our kids in a way that is going to cause them to be virtuous. And hopefully they're going to be successful contributors to the society. And, we say we're one nation under God. And to the extent that we have put God into the margin and perhaps off the page, we've ceased to be one nation. We're several nations now with different kinds of governments in our minds. And it's opportunity time, I think, as parents. Let's talk to our kids. Let's talk to our neighbors about, where Thanksgiving comes from. It was some people who were different getting together to thank God for the blessings that they had in the past from Him.
What's a practical way to express that besides coming together for a meal?
Well, I think maybe giving something to your neighbors. What would happen if we all bought a bag of sweet potatoes and took them around, or asked them what they're doing? Somehow get in with your neighbors. We're in a really neat situation, Cheryl and I. We live in a cul-de-sac, and we just had brand new neighbors move in next to us. They're a young family. They have 2 little kids under 3, and they don't know anything about our neighborhood, so they've been asking us questions, and we're getting to know them. And then the people on the other side of us are believers, and we talk to them a lot about things. They pick up our mail, we pick up theirs, that kind of stuff. And we're going to have conversations with them. I know for sure both of them because of Thanksgiving. We're going to be home, even if it starts off, hey, who do you want in the big football game?
Right.
And then what does Thanksgiving mean to you is a great opening line.
Right.
So guys, what do you do for Thanksgiving and what are you thankful for?
Right. It is an easy access.
It is.
The season that we're in from Thanksgiving all the way to Christmas, and taking advantage of that has a reciprocating impact on the family. And if you can invite people that are going to be alone, they don't have family nearby, there's plenty of people even within our church that, have family that are just far away.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, it's a kind of a lead up to Advent. So as we're talking to people during the Thanksgiving weekend, and those we've already talked to and in the week to come, say, hey, you know what, we're into Advent now, and we've got some great concerts coming up.
Right.
Get your neighbors some tickets. We usually have these neighboring boxes that we're going to have again that Jared's team is putting together. Take a few of those, give them to your neighbors. Just keep on. Here's what happens. Someone that really doesn't want to talk about the Lord or whatever, something's going to happen in their life. They're going to have a tragedy. Somebody they love got killed. Somebody that they love has cancer. They've lost their job. You need to be the person that they can just turn to and say, hey, would you pray for me?
Mm-hmm.
People who never pray, when adversity hits, they're looking for somebody that knows God's name, I guess.
Right.
That could be us.
Right.
Let's be available.
So in closing, Dave, what are some things that you are thankful for?
Well, I got to tell you, I'm very, very thankful. I was telling some people I met with this morning, I'm very thankful for the team of pastoral leaders and elders here. I've never been in a situation where the team was so cohesive. I am so proud to be able to tell anybody who listens, I do ministry with my friends. Aaron, you and I have a great friendship. We have a camaraderie that allows us to correct each other if there need be. All the pastors, we get together, we're serving the same Lord, and we're having fun doing it. And the elder team is so cohesive. And then the third thing is I just love that our church family understands the gospel.
Mm-hmm.
They understand that it's not just, I make some kind of decision, sign a card, and live any way I want. No, what I see the Grace Baptist family doing is actually living out loud, living out their faith, living out their thanksgiving to the Lord by serving other people and being involved in our community.
Yeah, I'm thankful for our church. I'm thankful for you, your mentorship, your friendship. Really thankful for Ingrid. I mean, she has stayed with me, and we have become best friends. Marriage just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
And you think it's the first few years when you don't have kids, it's just the two of you. There's something precious raising a family together with that girl. So I'm very thankful for her.
Well, let me tell you, when you take the last one and drop them off at college, like we did, you get in your car and you start crying for about 5 seconds. And then you go, yes! And I can tell you, the empty nest is awesome. You come back to the house, it's just like you left it.
It's
wonderful.
That's our next stage, actually. That's our next stage we're looking forward to. Dave, thanks for sitting down with me, man. I love you. And folks, thanks for streaming and listening to this episode on this Thanksgiving Day. And on behalf of the pastors and elders, I just want to tell you a happy Thanksgiving. Slow down, enjoy the moment, enjoy the family, and look for those opportunities that Dave was mentioning earlier. Thanks for listening. Thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure to subscribe to Magnify Podcast so you never miss an episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. And if you'd like curated bundles of episodes grouped by topic, visit our website at gracebaptist.org/podcasts. Thanks so much for streaming.